Imagine just for a second that you're stuck on a really complex problem and you turn to ChatGPT. Standard procedure, right? But what if instead of immediately spitting out that perfectly formatted answer for you to copy-paste and just instantly forget, it suddenly stopped? Imagine the sheer panic of facing a closed-book test after using AI to study like that. Well, what if instead of just handing you the solution on a silver platter, it looked at you and actually started teaching you how to solve it yourself? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the source material on a massive paradigm shift in AI learning, ChatGPT Study Mode. This isn't just some small tweak under the hood, it's a fundamental change in how artificial intelligence teaches students and professionals alike, transforming it from a simple, lazy answer key into a highly capable, completely personalized tutor. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, the instant answer problem. Second, how study mode actually teaches. Third, some real-world learning demos. Fourth, the master tutor prompt. And finally, avoiding common study mistakes. Let's get to it. Section 1, the instant answer problem. Passive versus active learning. We really got to start by addressing the elephant in the room here. Let's be honest, for a long time, we've all kind of used AI the lazy way. So what if ChatGPT just stopped giving you those instant answers? Think about your own habits for a minute. When you instantly copy an answer from a chatbot, do you actually learn anything? The source material highlights a really critical truth here. Reading a perfect answer gives us this dangerous illusion of competence. You know, we think we understand it perfectly because the AI explained it so clearly. But if we were tested on it 5 minutes later with no internet connection, yeah, most of us would completely freeze. Instantly copying an answer absolutely does not build your skills. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the clear contrast. Normal ChatGPT defaults to instant direct answers. It inherently promotes passive reading. You ask, it delivers. Simple as that. Study mode, on the other hand, completely replaces that instant gratification with genuine pedagogical techniques, specifically guiding questions and active practice. It shifts the burden of thought right back onto you, the learner. Honestly, it's the difference between having someone lift heavy weights for you and having a personal trainer coach your form as you lift the weights yourself. Moving on to Section 2, how study mode teaches, the pedagogical shift. Let's look at the exact mechanics of how this feature operates as a personalized tutor. When you use study mode, the AI doesn't just talk at you, it pulls you into an active learning cycle. Step 1, it asks guiding questions to gauge your baseline knowledge. The AI literally forces you to engage your brain at every single step of the process. You can't just skim the text. You have to actively participate in the conversation to reach the solution. This is exactly how the absolute best human teachers operate in a real classroom setting. Section 3, Real-World Learning Demos. Math, coding, and language. Theory is one thing, but let's actually see how this pedagogical shift applies practically. Here is an incredible example straight from the source data regarding coding. A user prompts the AI, teach me Python from scratch using study mode. Now, in the past, a normal AI would just dump a massive block of boilerplate code and a 500-word essay on Python syntax, right? But in study mode, the interaction is completely different. The AI starts by asking you what you want to build. It gives you a small logic problem, provides hints if you get stuck, and uses little mini quizzes to ensure you actually understand what a variable or a loop is before it ever lets you write the actual code. It is step-by-step, highly interactive teaching. And for math, this is an absolute game changer for students or anybody prepping for competitive exams. The prompt is simple, help me solve this algebra problem without giving me the final answer immediately. Instead of just solving for x in 1 second, the AI provides guided reasoning. It might ask you, well, what do you think should do first to isolate x? When you reply, it gives you feedback on your logic. It is actively coaching your mathematical reasoning, not just doing your homework for you while you sit back. Then we have language learning. The prompt here is, help me improve my English grammar, correct my mistakes, explain why, then give me another example to practice. Notice that last part, give me another example to practice. Study mode encourages continuous active practice. It doesn't just passively correct your sentence and move on to the next thing. It teaches the grammatical rule and then immediately tests you on a new similar sentence to ensure that rule actually stuck in your memory. Section 4, the Master Tutor Prompt. Unlocking the full potential. Okay, you might want to take mental notes here because this is arguably the most actionable part of our explainer. This master tutor prompt from the sources gives the exact instructions to turn the AI into a patient, highly effective, personalized teacher. You literally tell the AI, act as my personal tutor. Teach me step by step. Give no immediate answers. Instead, ask guiding questions and give hints. Test my understanding. Increase the difficulty gradually. Explain my mistakes kindly. Review previous topics and always end each lesson with a short quiz. By feeding the AI the specific set of constraints, you are forcefully pulling it out of its default helper mode and putting it straight into a strict but kind educator mode. Section 5, Avoiding Common Study Mistakes. Pitfalls to watch out for. Even with that perfect prompt, things can still go sideways if you fall into old habits. The first major pitfall is one we touched on earlier, but it remains the most common mistake, asking for answers only and skipping the practice altogether. If you use study mode but still try to treat the AI like a magic 8-ball or a simple answer key, or if you ignore those mini quizzes it gives you and just demand the final text, you are completely bypassing the intended learning process. It defeats the whole purpose. So how do we fix this? The source material suggests a series of proactive steps. You must engage with the hints. You have to attempt the problems first, even if you fail. And when you do fail, review your mistakes thoroughly with the AI. Ask it where you went wrong. Study with clear, defined goals for that session. And whatever you do, don't try to learn an entire semester's worth of material all at once. Active participation is the absolute baseline requirement for this tool to actually work for you. Here is the second major mistake learners make, memorizing without understanding. Rote memorization of an AI's output is incredibly dangerous, mainly because it won't help you in a real high-pressure test environment or a spontaneous job interview. Simply knowing the words is definitely not the same as actually understanding the concepts. So the crucial point is, how do we counter that false sense of competence? You need to consistently ask the AI why, really push it for the underlying reasoning. Request practical, real-world examples to anchor all that theory and reality. Never skip the AI's mini quizzes, and most importantly, ask the AI to help you apply this newly acquired knowledge to completely new scenarios. Pushing the AI for feedback on your specific application of the knowledge is what guarantees true deep comprehension. Let's bring this all together with a final wow moment from our source material. This timeline illustrates the chronological journey from a passive instant answer to true active understanding. Look at this. If you spend just 1 second getting an instant answer from normal AI, your learning journey effectively stops right there. But with study mode, at minute 2, you are engaging with guiding questions. By minute 5, you're working through helpful hints. At minute 8, you are in the trenches doing active practice. And by minute 10, you've arrived at true durable understanding. Yes, active learning takes a few minutes longer, but the retention, it's exponentially higher. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. We've seen how shifting from instant answers to active guided practice fundamentally changes how we learn with artificial intelligence. The tools to build your own personalized, infinitely patient tutor are literally right at your fingertips now. So I want to leave you with this final thought: what subject will you conquer first with ChatGPT Study Mode?